You've read the course books, you've finished the courses, and hey, maybe you've even watched some of my videos. You love, love, love the idea of learning new vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs, and so on. You want new ways to express yourself like a native English speaker, and it's still not working. Why? It just doesn't stick. Not really. Do you know why? Because you just studying. It's all input, zero output. And I'm here to fix that today. See it, say it. What am I talking about? See it, say it. Because you know what? Real language learning, real fluency doesn't happen when you memorize wordless. It happens when you see them, when you hear them, when you use them again and again in real situations, with emotion, in real life, with context. You may have heard about comprehensible input. This is a method, it's just a fancy term, but it has been proven to do three important things. One, it helps you to acquire language the way children do, naturally. And it helps you to make vocabulary stick. How? Through repetition, but not just repetition, repetition in context. And it helps to build confidence in your listening and speaking skills without translating in your head. I'm willing to give it a try. Are you? So today, let's try this little experiment. It costs an arm and a leg. I've taught this hundreds, probably thousands of times because I do specialize in IELTS speaking test preparation. So, cost an arm and a leg, it's an idiom that everyone pretty much needs to know if they want to score band 7 and above. Also, if you want to give off that native English speaker vibe. All right, so cost an arm and a leg. Probably at this point, you already know that cost an arm and a leg means that something is very expensive. Okay, got it. That's the very basic input. But now look around you. Look around you. Just pause and look around you. What's something that you own that cost an arm and a leg? Say it out loud. This mobile phone, my mobile phone cost an arm and a leg. But truth, I've had it for 5 years from during the COVID era, so I think it was worth it. And knock on wood, it's still working fine. So now it's your turn. Look around you. Find something that costs an arm and a leg. Now, oh, my diamond earrings. I do love earrings, and they definitely cost me an arm and a leg. 100%. They cost me an arm and a leg. But you know what? I bought them to celebrate a milestone. I bought them to celebrate something really big in my life. So my diamond earrings, yeah, they cost an arm and a leg, but they were worth it. What else? I'm looking around my desk. What else costs an arm and a leg? My MacBook. Absolutely. My MacBook, my Magic Keyboard, my Magic Mouse, all of these things, all of my Apple products, they cost an arm and a leg. But I use them every day. It's kind of my office. It's an investment. So yeah, they cost an arm and a leg. Now, let's think of something that didn't cost an arm and a leg. So something that wasn't expensive, something that was affordable, something that was cheap, maybe even as cheap as chips. That's the opposite idiom of cost an arm and a leg. So as cheap as chips, right? So I've got this little tension ball that I use for my hand, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg. I bought it on Amazon. It was as cheap as chips, probably even dirt cheap, maybe 2 or 3 euros. I think there was a pack of 3 that cost about 7 or 8 euros. So it didn't cost an arm and a leg. It was as cheap as chips. Okay, it was affordable. But I injured my right hand. I had a Dequavan syndrome, and I had to go to the physiotherapist. Now, that visit, those X-rays, those cortisone injections. Yeah, that cost an arm and a leg. But this little tension ball did not cost an arm and a leg. It was as cheap as chips. And here's one more. But before we do that, why don't you look around and find something that didn't cost an arm and a leg that was as cheap as chips? Recently, I needed a new mechanical pencil. This is the one that's broken. It needs to go in the trash. It really does. I went to this little supermarket, pretty cheap supermarket, but it had the best stationery section and the pencils. I got a new one. This one was as cheap as chips. I love stationery. I've got all kinds of pens, erasable pens because I have an erasable notebook. Also, I love the Lamy pens. Are you someone who loves stationery? And I have to say that those Lamy pens, and I'm not sure where oh, there's my Lamy. It's right here. This does cost an arm and a leg, whereas this one was as cheap as chips. Cost an arm and a leg and as cheap as chips. So think about it. Look around your home. What cost you an arm and a leg? Probably your home. And what was cheap as chips? So leave a comment and use both idioms in your own sentence. So see it, say it, and today write it down. Come on, guys, own it, because that's how it sticks. So the phrases that we covered today: cost an arm and a leg, didn't cost an arm and a leg, cheap as chips, it was worth it, maybe it wasn't worth it, I'm going to throw it into the trash, I bought these diamond earrings which cost an arm and a leg to celebrate a milestone, and the other word on our list today was affordable, affordable. So if you enjoyed this episode of See It, Say It, and of course, join us in the comments and write it, own it, then please take a moment to like and subscribe. This is a new format. I'm just testing it out. But the mission is for you to not just have all this fabulous input of learning, memorizing amazing vocabulary, but using it. So let's bridge that gap from input to output. I'm Nas, and it is ciao for now.